Do you ever have spiraling thoughts in the middle of the night, like around 2 or 3 a.m.? That seems to be the time that most people wake up. It's a common hour that I hear that people wake up either at 2 or at 3 a.m. and their mind kicks in and they can't go back to sleep. If that's you, I wanted to give you in this video some practical tips. First, what to do during the day so that we can avoid that. And two, what can we do during the night once that has happened and it's too late? How can I manage that then to get the rest that I need in order to function the next day? And so, for those who don't know me, my name is Carol Richard. I am the founder of the Sleep Success Academy and the creator of the Better Sleep Community. The Better Sleep Community is my online program where I help people figure out what the root cause of their sleep issues is so that they can get back to living the life they want. I just recently connected with someone, and when I said, if you were to be able to sleep the way you used to, how would life be different? And she named that she would have more energy to exercise. She would be able to socialize because she wouldn't be so tired. And she would also be able to travel again with her husband. That was a big thing that really stood out is she hasn't been able to travel in 3 years because she can't sleep. Therefore, how can we help her manage to sleep better? And these are the things that you will get once you are able to get your sleep back on track so that you can then get the life that you want to live and you deserve to live. So if you want to know more about the Better Sleep Community, there is a link in the description below where you can just click on that, find out more about it. Or don't hesitate to reach out to me by email at support@sleepsuccessacademy.com, and I'll answer any questions that you have that is not answered from the webpage that you'll click on. All right, I really want to divide this into two things. What we can do during the day so we avoid those spiraling thoughts at night. And the second thing is what can I do in the middle of the night once it's too late and I'm there? There's kind of three recommendations that I decided for this video. The first thing is an exercise that I call putting the day to rest. And I got it from some sleep books somewheres at some point, and I might have amended it a little bit for myself, but for me, putting the day to rest means once I'm done my workday, once I'm done that busy part, and how do I transition from my workday then to my day, the rest of my day, especially when I work from home? I'm putting the day to rest for me. The way I'm doing this, and you'll find what works for you, is by using a pen, pad, paper, and it's in my office here. And I'll just kind of, when I'm before I turn off my computer, I'll write a few notes of maybe things that I have left undone or maybe exciting things that I want to work on tomorrow. But I'll actually like close off the day so that I can start then my evening of what I'm going to do, spend time with my husband, go for a walk, whatever that might be. Another example of that could be if you do work in an office, your travel time at home could be the time, if you're not driving, of course, if you're taking another mode of transportation, where you could write that list of putting the day to rest. Or if you are driving, maybe it's just a matter of like doing it in your head as you're thinking about other things anyway. Why not make this a conscious thinking about putting the day to rest? And then if you have to, when you get home, you can write down the few things you need to. So that's tip number one, putting the day to rest. Tip number two is looking at your to-do list in kind of two ways. One is, how many things do you have on your to-do list? I recently was listening to a book from Dr. Benjamin Hardy, and he co-wrote it with Dan Sullivan. And part of that, they said, if you had more than 10 things on your list to do the next day, or if you have more than three things, sorry, to do the next day, then you have too many things on your to-do list, because you should never have more than three, because more than three just makes you busy, doesn't make you productive or something like that. Like, don't quote me exactly on how he said it, but that got me thinking, because a lot of us who struggle with sleep, we have an unmanageable to-do list. And this unmanageable to-do list actually causes us to think about it and ruminate on what's not done. And we're never able to actually achieve anything because the list is too long. So suggestion would be to maybe write down everything you feel or you should do, right? The shoulds that we don't really need to do, but we should do because we believe we should. Write down the list and then pick out your top three. And by picking out your top three for the next day, then you can do those three, and then you can count them as wins, right? And so your nervous system, your mind starts going, okay, but I did accomplish what I wanted to. And what happens to me, even though I only put three things on the list, is I do a lot more than three. And so I also like to kind of reflect on my wins during the day. And it really does help when I can realize that I've done more than 3, but I'm just proud that I at least done the 3 that I wanted. And some days we don't even get those 3 done, but it's okay because I've done something else. So that was number 2. Number 3 is taking a conscious pause. What I mean by taking a conscious pause is, as I'm going through my day, do I actually take time to notice if I'm breathing? Right? Because we go, 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 and our nervous system is so activated that if we just took time, 5 minutes every hour, it's not a lot, it's 5 minutes every hour, and we took time to reflect on, okay, how is my day going? Am I taking care of myself? Am I accomplishing the 3 things I put on the list? And then I like to do this too sometimes, since reading their book from Benjamin Hardy and Dan Sullivan, is then to reflect on my gains that I've done so far. So talking to myself, yes, I talk to myself and just say, wow, like so far this morning, I've done this. I got my meditation in. I was able to do this. I was able to do that. So just naming the things you've done. And what that does, it gives you this sense of confidence and achievement and just good feeling. Therefore, you're not spinning as much. But if you can take conscious pauses during the day, you'll notice your stress level not elevate, 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 because you'll elevate, then you'll go down. It'll elevate, you'll be able to bring it down again. So that's my tips for what to do during the day so that we can maybe manage this spiraling thoughts that happen in the middle of the night. But what if you did all that and you're still having spiraling thoughts? Or what if you just didn't get a chance to properly take care of your mind and your thoughts during the day? And then you find yourself, and it's like, say, 2 a.m., and you're laying in bed and you're just frustrated. So, one of the things I always recommend to do is actually getting yourself out of bed if you're not able to sleep. And there's more than one reason for this, but in the cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, they would say that you're creating a negative sleep association with your bed, where your brain and your body is learning that the bed is an okay place to stay there and ruminate. But however, what I always think about is, am I awake for 5 minutes or am I going to be awake forever? You know the difference. So tune into yourself and say, okay, I'm awake. Can I, one, try to do some imaginary tapping? So this is a technique that has been proven with fMRI scans that you can imagine tapping the points, and it has the same effect on your amygdala, that it calms down your nervous system and it can bring you back to sleep if you're not too activated. So that would be my first step. So just doing this imaginary tapping, so laying in bed, seeing the points. I like to count to 7 for each point, but you could count to 10, you could count to 5, that doesn't matter, but it's just doing the imaginary tapping. If that doesn't work, then yes, I would get out of bed, because you might be laying in bed ruminating for 20 to 30 minutes, where if you got out of bed and you went on the couch and you did some tapping, then you might get yourself back to sleep in 20 minutes. So I have a free meditation. So if you go to the free resource tab, you'll see that you can get 3 powerful meditation for better sleep. One of them is actually what to do in the middle of the night. So it's free for you to go get it, sign up for it. It will subscribe you to my email list, but you can unsubscribe at any time after you get the meditations, no worries. And try listening to all 3 of them and see if that won't help you. But especially in the middle of the night, is just really doing some rant tapping, just tapping, saying, my God, this really sucks that I'm awake, and acknowledging what is happening. Because when we don't acknowledge it, our mind will keep spinning it. That's one of the things that I always say: get out of bed, go do some tapping. And then the question comes, well, when do I go back to bed? I would check in with yourself. Do I feel that I'm going to go fall back asleep? Go back to bed. When you lay there, you'll know if you're going to go back to sleep or not. I know I have one video that you can search, and I can't remember the name, but you can just search getting out of bed in the middle of the night. And I talked about when I had got a cold and I got sick. And because I kept coughing and waking up with a fright every time, once I was better, then I was still waking up through the night for the reason that my body went right back, because I had severe sleep issues. So my body reverted back to that being awake at night. And I did this technique for myself. The first time, I think it was something like 4 times in 2 hours, I was back out of bed, back on the couch, back in bed, and eventually I fell asleep. The second night, it was once or twice. And then the last night, I think I only had to get up once, and then I was sleeping through the night again. but my body's used to that technique. So it might take you more. I've had some clients that have to do it for like 7 days in a row. And then after the 7 days, they're able to sleep again. That's kind of what you can do before, what you can do if it's happening. And then I will add here as well that there are times that our spiraling thoughts are because of mental health issues. And if that's the case for you, that you are struggling with your mental health, and that is what is causing the ruminating thoughts, my suggestion would be to make contact with a mental health professional if you can. Everything I'm teaching you in the Better Sleep community can help you, but you also need that extra support that would understand where that comes from. Up to you whether you want to meet with a mental health professional or not, but I know that there are levels of ruminating thoughts that is more than just a busy day. Knowing that when you think of yourself, if it's more than just a busy day and it's because of some trauma that you've had that you can't let go, book an optimal sleep assessment with me. I'll talk to you and then we'll be able to determine if the Better Sleep community would be able to help you or if you need additional support. That's it for this video. I hope that it helps you know what to do when your spiraling thoughts really get out of control at 2 or 3 a.m. And I look forward to hearing from you if you have any thoughts, if you've tried this technique, or if you've heard of any of the techniques I talked about in this video. I'd love to hear from you.